Shoutouts, Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, it's me, Tamara. Oh, maybe I just had to switch that up. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, I appreciate you checking me out. New episodes drop every Thursday. So come back through one more time for the one time. You feel me? On my day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wherever you came in. I was going to keep counting for a while, but I decided not to. But nevertheless, my loyal listeners, people who really rock with me, I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for y'all love and support. If you're not, you should totally be following me on social media. So you can find my IG, Twitter, and the show's Facebook page on my website, which is TamaraTheDawn.com. The link is in my episode notes, or if you're watching, it should be at the bottom of the screen. You feel me? And let's see what other announcements. This month, I'm only going to have one live show. Your girl, it's my time once again to host the podcast Happy Hour. So we're about to start our third round of podcast happy hours because it started on my platform. So it's me, Autumn from the Lit Life podcast, Audrey from Odd Tales podcast, Jay from Jay's Quick 3, Chris from Shenanigans with Friends. The 5 of us get together. I feel like I gotta say this. I mean, nobody really says this in a shady way or anything like that, but we are a collective of solo podcasters that get together every month and do a show. We bring something from each of our individual shows, but we're not a group. We're just friends who once a month come together as a collective. So it's a collaboration, but we rotate on each other's platforms. So if you missed May's podcast happy hour, that was on Chris's platform. I will have the link to the visuals in the episode notes. The dope thing is this month is also my birthday. Well, actually, okay. So June 3rd is Chris's birthday. So happy birthday to her. If you follow her on Twitter, by the time this episode drops, her birthday is the next day. So happy birthday to her. My birthday is June 27th and Jay's birthday is June 28th. I don't even know if they wanted me telling their birthdays like that, but whatever. Show them some love. You feel me? So we're finna have like this whole birthday extravaganza, because if you've been following my journey in podcasting for a while, or if you just know me, you know my birthday. I love my birthday. I try to make a big deal out of it. I always have. And so, yeah, I don't know exactly when we're going to have the podcast happy hour this month yet, but more to come on that. But just a heads up, it's just that one live. I'm not about to try to do two. Let's see what else. Oh, podcast shout out. So this week goes out to Real Talk with Ghost and Big G. It's a show that I listen to, the description that they have, because I feel like I'd be struggling sometimes to describe other people's shows, but it's two brothers sharing their insight on the world with a heavy dose of comedy. So their link tree will be in the episode notes as well. Now, I wanted to get an episode out because I know if I didn't record it today, I really wouldn't have time to record it before Thursday. I don't even really know what I want to talk about, so this is going to be a random episode, but it's okay. In my mind, there's like so many different things that I could talk about, like I had so many different thoughts on, I should do this type of show. I should do that type of show. I should this, that, and the other. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with this episode. I say in my mind always, oh, maybe this will be a short episode. Because I remember my episodes used to be like 30 minutes when I first started. You know what I'm saying? But every time I have that thought in my mind, the episode is never that short. I could do an hour and a half by myself. You know what I'm saying? The way I be talking. So, yeah. Oh, I don't think I ever officially told y'all. Okay, so you know how I've been talking about how I was in that program, Room for Root. Shout out to Bridget because I started my consulting company. Yes, notice I said started, not I am started, because your girl officially, as of Monday, May 24th, is when I registered my business. So Tamara The Dawn Incorporated is an S corporation. You feel me? I didn't go the LLC route because with the things that I have planned to do, that is what's best for me. So sometime this month, the plan is to start taking virtual appointments for consulting. It really just depends on how far along I get in my prep stuff. Otherwise, July 1st, I'll just start taking in person and virtual appointment. Or I mean, I guess, yeah, we could do July 1st, sometime after July 1st. But I say all that because I'm still working on my standard operating procedure. Actually, I'll probably have that done by the time this airs. But as of right now, I'm still working on my standard operating procedures. There's service documents, intake. There's just like so much paperwork that I have to create so that when somebody schedules a consultation with me, it's just a smooth process and not me having to figure stuff out. Of course, I'll build upon it, tweak stuff, make it better, but I got to have at least a framework, outline, you know what I'm saying, to start from of how I'm going to do my services. So, in case you were wondering, I don't know how I can never remember like how much I really went into stuff on this show because it didn't seem real until I met with the CPA. So that's the tax person, and like did everything I needed to do to actually register my business. And he's like, yep, you're all legit. You'll have these documents and this, that, and the other shortly. And then I was like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? That's like when it seemed real. But I'm going to be doing resume writing services. So if you're new, I've worked in the social work field for over a decade, but specifically mainly focused towards, if I kind of like summarize the stuff I seem to focus on the most at each job, it's been workforce development or job readiness skills. But then also with that, just goal creation, accountability strategy, service plans, holding people accountable, teaching workshops, and just stuff like that. I've done payroll, I've hired people, been supervisor, all kinds of stuff. And so with that, what I found is that if you take all of that experience and move it out of the social work field into the consulting industry, I will make more money. Now, standard operating procedures for small businesses is another service that I'm going to offer. Then job readiness, I cannot talk. Job readiness coaching packages, goal creation, success, and accountability strategies. I feel like that's out of order, but I didn't even really think I was going to get into this, but whatever. Coaching packages. Then I'm still gonna drop the content that'll be geared towards helping content creators, especially like people who are new content creators who like want to get into content creating, but not teaching them how to create content, but how to be efficient with certain things, with promoting, marketing, professional etiquette, networking, stuff like that, that I see it in the podcast industry that people don't realize the importance of professional etiquette. Like if you want somebody to support what you're doing, or if you want somebody to be a guest on your show or whatever, there's a way that you have to conduct yourself, and you really have to treat podcasting in a sense as a job. Even if it's just a hobby, you're working with other people, there needs to be etiquette, professionalism, etc. And so I'm going to create some content towards that. But then also for those who maybe prefer to have one-on-one coaching, I'm going to offer coaching for that too. So these are all things that I've kind of, if I'm honest, except for the standard operating procedures, I haven't done that, except I'm doing it. I mean, I've done it, let me say that right, but it hasn't been something I've been just continuously doing because there hasn't been a need for it. But I've worked in so many either nonprofits or been a part of things where if you don't have standard operating procedures for your business, then you're not working efficiently, because it shouldn't be that I have to ask someone how to do something. I should be able to look at a document that's used as a training tool that spells out a detailed description of what, the routine tasks are. And then if I have questions, sure, but training shouldn't just be all hands on with no sort of standard operating procedures, because then it's like there's not alignment in the way this employee does it versus that employee. And also, when you have, even if it's a small business but there's multiple people, everybody should be able to do, like if there's two receptionists, for example, each of them should be able to do all the tasks of the role simply, if one's out sick or whatever, simply by having the standard operating procedures. And so um it's something I've become even more passionate about, like as I've gotten deeper into the social work field, because I feel like that's really a field where it's a lot of sink or swim. You kind of get thrown in, and I don't know. So I'm creating that for my business, and then I'm going to offer that as a service to write for small businesses. But everything else I've kind of already been doing with different people and whatever. And so I see there's a need for it. I also did the market research survey ahead of time. And so, yeah, I still have my full-time job as of now. Obviously the goal is to get to a point of working myself. I don't know how long that'll take or what that'll look like. But the good thing is with consulting, like, in my mind, an appointment is about an hour. Even the free consultation is 30 to 45 minutes. So if I'm working all day and then maybe 3 to 4 nights a week, I have an hour appointment, that's nothing. Like I've done more than that when I was in school. And now that I've shifted my workouts to the morning, that frees up my evening. So it's like I've kind of been really spent the last couple months setting a solid foundation for myself to be able to realistically, potentially for however long until I grind, until I grind enough to, save up and just be able to sustain myself, to work both jobs. The brand, still more to come on that, because I haven't even started the trademarking process yet as of now, because I'm waiting. I already have one logo, and I also have a seal of authentication or authenticity, however you want to say it. But that's with a female on it, and I'm getting one made with a male on it. Now the female focus stuff is going to drop first. The males will drop whenever, but I wanted to already have both, so I'm not having to then go back to the person and say, oh yeah, now I want to do this, and then just trademark it all at once, just because that stuff actually takes a lot of time. However, the time from which I trademark it, it's protected. So hopefully, the hope is that later this month, I, in my mind, wanted to launch it on my birthday. We will see what that looks like, but you'll hear more about it once I get the trademark process going. So more to come on that. But yeah, like I said, your girl finally, finally finished all the stuff. I had to write my business plan. I had to do all these things. I finally got all that situated. I started my company. Again, shout out to Bridget, because not only did she man, she just, her program is really dope. If you missed the live show where she was a guest, and she even gave out some like 4 key things that business owners should do. I mean, but you could even try to join the program. But yeah, you should definitely check that out. She dropped so many gems, just because it's really important to have a solid foundation when you're, starting a business. You're going to need to grow, you're going to evolve, you're going to whatever. But I just think for me, I didn't really want to dive into that like I tend to dive into other stuff. So that's exciting, because like I said, it didn't feel real. I'm excited to see like where I go. Soon I'll have office space that I'll be able to work out of. But I mean, with virtual, you can do things virtually. There may be some people that are just more comfortable virtually. And what podcasting and also my daytime job has taught me, because I have my current role, which is I train I guess we'll just call them case managers, because that's the more familiar term. I train case managers, I audit cases, I, review different things, but I train everybody virtually. I've been working from home since last April. So I've already been doing virtually training people, and it's been effective. And so I know I could do the same with consulting, because it's really just training and, whatever. So I'm pretty excited about that. Like I said, my birthday's later this month. I'll be 41. It's still crazy that I'm 40 and now I'm about to be 41, but of course I'm going to keep aging, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel 41, I don't know, or 40. I don't know what that's supposed to feel like. I but my kids are 17, 19, and 21, so I got to be somewhere up there, you know what I'm saying? I had them when I was 19, and I know people have kids younger than that, but I can't be too much younger than that, because he's going to be 22 this year. So, let's see what else. I want to encourage y'all with this. I want to encourage you that it is very, 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 very important that you know your worth. And I've said this so many times on this show, but I've had just some interesting conversations with people lately where either they try to just say little things that if I wasn't secure in myself, it would make me question myself or question why I do what I do. But like, even support of other podcasters and all that, I appreciate that. I do. I tell y'all, like, my appreciation of y'all is genuine. But at the same time, I don't do this for that. I could walk away from podcasting now and feel like I left enough content out there for my kids, because I need y'all to understand that I'm doing this to leave. And I've said it before, but I'm leaving a legacy for my kids. So like, and it's funny because I've heard Chris say this, shout out to her, multiple times. I'm not a podcaster. I'm just a nigga who podcasts. And it's like, I've never identify myself like, oh yes, because man, when it comes to the industry side of things, anybody who talks to me off the mic, I say it on here, I'm not a fan of all of that, especially the politics of podcasting. Like, I'm not a fan of politics, period, because it's a structure that's ran by flawed people, so there's going to be faulty stuff in there, and I'm not doing something for the sake of the politics of something. I can only do something if I authentically and genuinely want to do it. But I understand her saying that on a whole different like tip, because of just things that have happened lately that have just kind of made me like, I'm not a podcaster. Like, matter of fact, I've heard Baylor say that too, where he's like, I'm just good at podcasting or something like that. I just need a therapeutic creative outlet, and it just happens to be podcasting. I share my life authentically on here because I know there are a lot of times people feel alone in their struggles or people feel whatever. And so that's why I do what I do. But like I said, I could walk away from this and, now that I've been consistent and I know I could do it because, consistency was a huge thing I had to grow in with podcasting, even blogging, with working out, all these things. It's been this journey of just consistency and not being moved by my feelings, not saying things that I'm going to regret based on my feelings. Like, I'm a very strategic especially when I write or if I text, because that gives me time to think and edit. But I realize, I think last week or the week before, I talked about a situation I went through, and I said when I even tweeted it too, that whenever I go through scenarios where maybe I'm facing either racism or stereotypes or biases or whatever, whenever people say like wild stuff like that, I notice I would always say I'm always quiet because I'm in shock. But what I realize is that's not actually what it is. And what taught me that is an interaction I had with somebody recently where they were very, I'm not going to say they were upset. I don't even really know what the emotion was. They were just way more invested in what was going on than I was. And it was that same calm. The only difference is because this wasn't a stranger, I did engage in the conversation for a while. But what I realized about myself is it's not so much that I'm in shock. It's that I am a deep thinker. So I'm very strategic when I say things, because one thing about me, little random Tamara facts, I think I might throw them in this episode. I was considering making a whole episode about just random Tamara facts, because it's something that I'll tweet or I'll make Facebook statuses here and there, but I don't know. But a random Tamara fact is I am a very strategic thinker. I'm a very strategic person. And y'all can probably tell that, those of y'all that have listened to me for a while. Like, even when I talk about, if I ain't even gonna say get into it, because I don't really be getting into it with people like that. But even if I have a situation where somebody does something I don't like, I'm very strategic about how I talk about it. And it's on purpose, because for one, usually it's a scenario that the person and I talked about. So it's not about me putting somebody else on blast. The only reason I share anything in my life is because I'm sharing what I'm going through and how I'm trying to grow. That's the only reason I share my life. There's a lot of stuff I don't share because there's no purpose in it. Like, this is not a platform for me to bash people or whatever. So either we already talked about that and it's not about me trying to bash folks, or if it's maybe a stranger, or rarely is it something that I didn't address with the person, but let's say it isn't, or let's say sometimes, like, I know when I'm in sometimes when I think about things, sometimes I get mad. Another random fact about Tamara, random Tamara fact or whatever. Sometimes when I think back on scenarios, I get mad at myself because of how strategic and calm I am, because that's on purpose. It's not that it's not in me to turn up. That's on purpose, because I really try to not say things I'm going to regret so that I can stand on whatever I said. So if you ask me something, if you ask me how I feel about something, I am at a place in my life that I am going to tell you the truth. You may or may not like it. You may feel some type of way about it, and you're entitled to feel however you feel and then act accordingly. But whatever I said to you, I don't care if it's my mama, my daddy, my bio dad, whoever. I'm going to stand on that. And all three of those parents that I mentioned can vouch for that, because when I feel some type of way, and not disrespectfully, like I don't be talking to my mom crazy or nothing like that at all, but she ain't going for it anyway. But when I feel some type of way about what they've done, I talk to them about it, but I'm a stand on whatever I said with whoever it is. So that's a random Tamara fact, is that I'm a very strategic thinker and speaker and whatever. But then on the flip side of that, sometimes I don't like that, because sometimes I wish I did call somebody a bitch ass nigga or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not that I don't feel anger and I don't feel these things. I just try really hard not to operate from my emotions. I will, if anything, I'll retreat, you know what I'm saying? Go to myself, think about it, think about how I feel about it, journal maybe, whatever. I generally prefer to do that than to just spout off out the mouth because I'm upset and then have to regret something that I said or take it back or whatever. I really try not to do that. But if you know your worth, going back to why I brought this up, when you go through scenarios like that, it ain't gonna phase you. You know what I'm saying? Because people will come up with all kinds of conclusions about why they think you did whatever or whatever. People, man, watch out for them folks that offer to do stuff and then they throw it in your face later when they offered it and you never asked for it. Like, I am not someone, another random Tamara fact, and I don't really ask people for things. And even when people reach out to me and like ask me if I need help, that's never been a question that it's been easy for me to answer. Even I remember it when I really noticed it was when the girl's dad was killed and everybody was reaching out. What can I do? What can I do? What can we do? And I'm like, can y'all? And I really made a status where I was like, if y'all can't bring him back, I don't really know what else to tell y'all, because I don't know what I want. Like, that's all I can think about is what we're going through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a person that I receive well from people. But another thing you got to watch out is, man, people's motives for why they do stuff are not always pure, because there's things that I've done for people that I am no longer friends with, or we barely talk or whatever. And I bet you I ain't about to bring up what I did for them because I did it from a place of just wanting to do it. I have this policy that I don't lend people money. If I lend people money, and this is what my mom taught me, let me say this right. So I don't lend people money. If someone asks me, can they borrow money? In my mind, I'm giving it to you. If I don't have it to give, then I don't give it. And then if they pay me back, cool. But in my mind, then if they don't pay me back, I'm good. And I came to that place because someone once did have a scenario or cause it. They didn't really borrow money from me, but they owed me for something, a few $100s, and they said they were going to pay me back, and they still have not. And this was like over a decade ago. And I remember one time us talking and me saying like, hey, if you can't pay me back, that's cool. Just let me know, because I mean, the money's already gone. So it is, excuse me, it is what it is. Let me take a drink. But I would rather you just say that than say you're going to do something that you're not, because your word, like people who are who they say they are, I appreciate that. People who you find out are not really either who they say they are, or maybe they're not who I thought they were. I have more of an issue with that, the lack of authenticity, than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's you don't like something I did, I would rather you tell me that or whatever than like act like we cool and we ain't, or you know what I'm saying? So I have that motto when it comes to like money and stuff like that, or just anything. So that said, I I don't know. I've learned over the years, like, not everybody does stuff from authentic motives. And so some stuff, it may seem cool to like accept this or that or whatever, but I'm learning, if man, the moment you become somebody who throws what you did in my face, I promise you I will never take anything else from you ever again. You know what I'm saying? Because why did you do, especially when people offer to do stuff, especially when people make it a point to say stuff like, if you never need anything or this, that, and the other, you got to watch out for people like that, because you don't know why they're doing it. And when when you get in situations where you're having a disagreement or something like that, the last thing that needs to happen is somebody try to bring up something they did in an irrelevant scenario, because it literally has nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. So let's see what else. Maybe this is gonna be a short episode, because I definitely wanted to just get some content out there. There was many different things that what ways I was going to do this episode. And I even, it's funny, in a roundabout way, talked about the stuff that I kind of wanted to talk about, but I talked about it in a different way than the way I had it in my mind. But as always, I can only give you what I have. And it's very important to me to not miss a week, just because that's a me thing. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was good for me to kind of just talk about, I'm not going to say I really talked about what's been going on, because there's been way more than that going on, but just kind of, I don't know, some things I wanted to make sure to, one, encourage y'all with is know your worth, know who you are, know why you do what you do. Too, as a content creator, I've always said, do it because you love it, because the numbers, I mean, I know me personally, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but for some reason, the way my days have gone at work, it has not allowed for me to have that hours of alone time that I used to have. I get a lot more interruptions, a lot more video calls and whatnot. And so my podcast rotation has been off. And it's not because I dislike shows, it's just I haven't had as much time to listen to podcasts. So it's like numbers ebb and flow, trends change, this, that, and the other. But I'm gonna always do what I want to do on my show. Like, everything I do is because I like talking about and watching the movies that me and Cedric and Baylor do. Shout out to the movie tiers, gang gang. I like doing the podcast happy hour. We do stuff like that off, the mic, so it's nothing. I like my petty tam episodes when I want to do them. Everything is about what I feel. Like, in some ways, I'm not moved by my feelings. There's a balance. But when it comes to what I'm going to talk about podcasting, what I'm going to write about blogging, okay, let me hold that thought. I am going to do what I feel, because that's a space where I can be moved by my feelings. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to talk about this, or I want to do this, or I want to try this, or I want to do that. And you notice I ain't brought the thoughts to ponder back, because I don't know, I just ain't been feeling like doing it. So it's like, that is a space where I can do what I feel. But then when it comes to other things, like wilding out because I don't like how somebody did something or whatever, nah, I'm not gonna do that, because I try to not feel like I'm going to regret something. And I think part of it, when I really think about it, is one of my love languages is words of affirmation. The top three kind of fluctuate between quality time is always number one, and then words of affirmation and physical touch kind of fluctuate back and forth. But because words of affirmation is up there, It's like on the side of love, you want encouraging words, you want not fake affirmation, but even if it's um not like I love you or you're dope or stuff like that, but I like something that's like unique and specific for me anyway. Like cards that I've gotten from people, I keep them on this. I have this little rug that somebody gave me one year for my birthday that says "You are awesome." And so instead of having that on the floor, because I don't even know, I think it's a rug, like a throw rug or something, but it's a interesting material. But I've always had it up on the wall, and then on that I have different cards that in the last year and a half or so people have been sending me. You know what I'm saying? And so when it's authentic and like you specifically spoke to me, yes, that. So then on the flip side of that, if you say things that are harmful, it's almost like you're saying, I don't love you, or like you're, throwing hatred my way. Do I internalize it all like that? It depends on who it is. You know what I'm saying? But still, because of that, I think that's why I really try not to say things that are harmful. To some people that doesn't matter, but to me it does. And so it's kind of like, yeah, you got to know your worth. You you really got to know your worth. You really got to know why you do what you do, because I'm trying to tell you, you will have scenarios where people will come at you sideways, and it's like, if you know your worth and you know why you do what you do, it's not gonna really be moved you. It's not really gonna move you. If anything, it's gonna show you something about that person. You know what I'm saying? But then on the flip, what was the other point? The other thing I said, I don't even remember. But see, this is a super random episode. I'm not about to ramble on here. So again, blogs, that's what I was going to say, but that's not what I said earlier, but that was the thing I said I don't want to forget. Starting Monday the 7th. So by the time this comes out, the first will have passed, and the pattern has been that I blog on the 1st and 15th of every month. But for whatever reason, they're just seasons change, things happen. I just come up with these things in my mind for whatever. I said that in June, I was going to start blogging. So a blog is going to drop every Monday at noon. So if it's 4 Mondays in a month, 5 Mondays in a month, whatever, starting June 7th, so Monday, every Monday is when my blog is going to drop. I don't know if any of y'all listen, read my blog. I don't even know. I mean, if you're a regular listener, you should know I blog because I've talked about it on here. But check out my blog. My blog it's not like podcasting at all, because really what I do as a writer, I am a very descriptive writer, and basically I take an emotion or a thought and like super unpack it, and then kind of hurry up and pack it back together, if that makes sense. So like if I'm talking about, I remember I did one about crying, and I talked about how much and everything that was going on in the time that I have recently cried, and then I kind of move away from it. It's really like, it's the intimate musings of me. So it's whatever thought, emotion, or feeling that I really just want to go really deep on something very specific. But it's all about emotions, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little different than, podcasting, because while it's still about me, it's really mainly just focused on like how I'm feeling, but just a feeling. And I just kind of stick to that if that makes sense. But yeah, if you go to my website, again, that's TamaraTheDawn.com. It's in the episode notes, or it's at the bottom of the screen if you're watching. And you go to the blog tab, because everything, if you want to know more about my professional development and coaching consulting company that I just started, Tamara The Dawn Incorporated. Hey, if you want to know more about that, that's on the website. If you want to get some merch, I still have merch. It's just I know I'm gonna be pushing the brand way more. So it's kind of like I'll always still have merchandise, but hey, that's on the website as well. What else is on there? My YouTube. I usually have my most recent 2 YouTube videos on my website, and then you could click to go to my actual YouTube page. I am very much about efficiency and making things as easy for people as possible. That's why before I had a .com, I had a link tree, because what I noticed is that people, okay, this is how I am. If you post something on Twitter, and if you just post a picture of like a screenshot of a podcast episode or something, like new episode, and you don't have a link, I'm not about to go searching. I'm just not about to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I already have a rotation. I already have whatever. So I think like that. And a lot of people think like that. So I'm not going to say people are lazy, because that has nothing to do with it. But people are more likely to click on, if they could click on something that's easily accessible. So here's some free game for y'all. If they, well, a lot of y'all know this, but some of y'all may not. People are going to I can't even freaking talk. It's been a long day. I've been getting up early with these workouts. This morning I got up earlier, but I wanted to, like I said, get this episode. So let me try to collect my thoughts and say this right. People are more likely, there we go, going to do something that is easily accessible to them. So if there's a link associated to it or whatever, I've said this before on here in a different context, but even if they're like your best friend, if you say, vote for me for this on Instagram, I've seen this where, I don't know if it was a podcaster, but somebody wanted me to vote for something for them on Instagram, and they didn't have their Instagram link. They had a screenshot of the Instagram page. I ain't about to type all that in. So it's like, you got to make things easy for people to do what you want them to do. So that's why everything for me is all on my website. That's why when I promote my episodes, there's always a link to something, even if it's just the link to my website, because that's the other thing that's on my website. You could listen to like my most 5 recent podcasts or something on there, like literally everything Tamara Dawn, etc. Tamara The Dawn Incorporated. You feel me? Yes, I am very happy that I saw that through. I'm trying to tell y'all, when I tell y'all I was about to quit and just throw it all away when I was trying to write my business plan, I am not playing. But that taught me perseverance, because that was very hard, because that's not something I normally do. And it's helping me press through writing my standard operating procedures, not because I can't write them, but when I've written them previously, it was always after I had already been doing something. You know what I'm saying? I haven't even started. So I'm having to sit down and think about, how do I want to do this? Like, usually, like I said, I just dive in and figure it out. So me pushing myself to do that is like, well, hell, if I could do that, I've done standard operating procedures before. Then if I could do it for me when I haven't started yet, then I know I could do it for other people that actually usually are starting, or maybe they will start, and know the questions to ask to get the information that I need so that it's thorough, so that anybody could pick it up and effectively perform their task, because that's the whole point of it. So yeah, man, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, make it easy to help people. I mean, you gotta make it easy for people to support you and do what you. Man, don't even say link in bio. I only do that on Instagram, and the only reason I do that on Instagram is because you literally cannot put a link that they can click on. I don't know if you can on the website. I don't like Instagram on the computer, so I don't get on there. But on my phone, I can't click on nobody's link except the one in their bio. So that's the only place I do that, because again, folks is not about to go searching and do, man, people are all about what's easily accessible. You know what I'm saying? So that's some free game for y'all. A lot of y'all probably already know that, but that's some help. You know what I'm saying? That's for all things, because not everybody's a podcaster. You might be trying to do some other stuff and you want to make it easy for folks to support you. So I'm getting sleepy. You know what I'm saying? It's almost midnight. It's actually past my bedtime, because I really try to be in bed by no later than 11 now, because I got to get up early. So at least this was less than an hour. It doesn't matter, but sometimes I be trying to have shorter episodes. So again, podcast happy hour. I'm hosting it. Woo woo this month. More to come on that. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Like, man, make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Do what you got to do. That's why I love also your physical health. Let me tie these two together. I love that I switched my workouts to the morning. This is how y'all know I'm tired. I love that I switched my workouts to the morning, because once them endorphins get going, whatever foolishness happens in my day, I really don't give a fuck. You feel me? Because I'm feeling good, that natural high from the endorphins. But also, I sleep so good. Like, I sleep so good now, and I have more energy. I think I finally gotten to the point. Somebody who said that, man, I don't know. Somebody was talking to me about, yeah, you're gonna have so much energy, and I'm like, I ain't there yet. But I think I finally gotten to that point, because I feel like I can do more. I have more to do, and I have the energy to do it. Yeah, make sure you're taking care of your physical health though too, y'all. Okay, so if you follow me on IG and Twitter, for sure IG, then you know that I've been on this Snatch 40s journey for a while, but I've been doing Insanity. And I was looking at, because I've had this program for years and I've never completed an entire month. So by the time this airs, I will have completed month 1 of Insanity. Now I missed like 2 days because I had a migraine. I think I may have missed 3, but I know for sure 2 days, because I woke up with a migraine and then couldn't do it in the evening. But that's different, because I mean, nigga, I had a migraine. You know what I'm saying? But I actually, like, I'm so proud of myself, and I'm actually decided. So now I'm putting it out there. So this is that accountability. I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's not a recovery week. It's called something else. And then I'm going to do month 2. I've literally never done month 2. So I don't know what the hell I'm about to be getting into, but I'm loving challenging myself. Do I be struggling still sometimes with, yeah, I'm not like this Insanity master, but I'm continuing to grow and get stronger. And one thing I don't do is I don't modify the workouts like I would with other workout programs. I do the way he does it, but I just slow down if I'm starting to get tired, or I take a break. Like if I'm to that point where sweat is in my eyes and I can't breathe and all whatever be going on, then I stop, or I just go slower so I can keep moving. So I'm finding different ways to continue to grow. I love, you know, and then at the end of this month, is when I'm going to do my next progress pick. So basically every 2 months I do a progress pick. I don't even know how much I weigh. I haven't weighed myself in a while because I don't know, the scale just it irritates me. Like I could see progress in the pick, but get on the scale and still be frustrated. So I don't even fool with the scales. I just every couple months do a progress pick. Maybe one day I'll hop on the scale, but it ain't gonna be today. So yeah, I'm gonna do my progress pick at the end of the month. So I'm proud of myself. I've been consistent for sure since November. That's why I use November as my progress pick. Um yeah, make sure you're taking care of your physical health. Make sure you are taking care of yourself spiritually, whatever that looks like for you. Y'all know faith is a big thing for me. My relationship with God. Now that I'm getting up in the morning doing my workouts, I've been trying to make sure that in the mornings I am like having like journaling more. That's part of my spiritual health. I wasn't journaling for a while. So journaling more, but also in the morning, like actually starting my day. I have different devotionals that I've been reading. These are the things that help me be spiritually healthy. I would listen. Notice I said reading. Before I would just listen to stuff. Now I've been like kind of sitting down, slow down, really start my day, making sure that I'm spiritually and physically, you know what I'm saying, on point. And then in your relationships, and that could be tricky because people have different versions of what they feel like it is to be healthy in relationships, and what works for you is what works for you, but you got to then surround yourself with people. Not if you being toxic. If you being toxic, you need to get yourself together. Don't surround yourself with a bunch of toxic people so you can feel good about your bull. No. But if you're not being toxic and you're really like trying to either, sometimes there's going to be conflict, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't agreeing, and you got to have them tough conversations if you value the relationship. But you know what I'm saying, surround yourself with people that you're going to have life-giving, mutually energizing relationships. That is very, very important. People that want to see you win. What I love about the people that I'm surrounding myself with, or people who, some of y'all who listen to my episodes and you hear me talking about what I'm doing in my life and you comment on it, and I don't know what's going on in your life. I mean, hell, you could be going through a trial, but if you can't celebrate folks when they have success or met a goal or whatever, you need to check your heart, because even when I'm going through, I can still be happy for somebody else doing well, because it's not you know what I'm saying? Like, I want everyone to do well. I don't wish ill on anybody. Now, I may not talk to you no more because I see we can't see eye to eye, or we can't whatever. So I might not fuck with you like that no more. But that don't mean I want harm to happen to you. That just means our relationship is not mutually energizing, life-giving, whatever. And I'm not trying to have all that bull in my life. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you out here being healthy, being a positive contributor to society, not fake positive, but like for real positive. Like, yeah, I don't even know how else to say that, because so many these, I don't even know what you call it, but people are getting exposed for not being like the message they spread or the platform they have or whatever. So many people are getting exposed for not being really that. Like, you got to walk what you talk, not talk what you walk. It's the same, but it's different, because you need to talk it like you're walking it already. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I speak, and I tell y'all my flaws, I tell y'all my insecurities. I don't have no shame in that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could ever hold over my head anything I put on this platform or even anything I tell anybody, because if I didn't want anybody to know, I wouldn't tell anybody. Because one thing I know about people is they always got that one or two people that they're going to tell, even if they don't say, oh yeah, Tamara, whoop-de-woo. They always got that somebody they gonna tell. So if I don't want nobody to know, I don't tell nobody. So I don't have no shame in anything I've said on this platform or anybody else's platform. And I don't have any shame about anything I've ever told anybody, even if I was venting to someone. Because again, if I didn't want anybody to know, I wouldn't tell anybody. So yeah, make sure you out here really walking what you're talking. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Less than an hour. Hey, I don't know why that was the goal today, but have a great rest of your day, evening, whenever you listen to this, and I will see y'all or hear y'all, or you'll see me or you'll hear me. Let me go to bed, y'all.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...